با درود به بینندگان عزیز تلویزیون برابری، آرش کمانگر هستم. همونطور که میدونید در آخرین روزهای ماه آوریل در سراسر جهان، هم به خاطر مارش جهانی صلح و هم به خاطر روز بین‌المللی زمین، سلسله تجمعات و تظاهرات‌هایی برگزار میشه همه ساله. امسال نیز در شهرها و کشورهای مختلف شاهد برگزاری روز جهانی صلح، در واقع مارش برای صلح و علیه جنگ، کشتار، اشغالگری، میلیتاریسم و امپریالیسم بودیم. در این حال به خاطر روز بین‌المللی زمین هم شاهد این بودیم که فعالین حفظ محیط زیست به خیابانها بیان و بار دیگه در مورد خطر جدی انقراض کره زمین هشدار بدن و خواهان لگام زدن به سودپرستی نظام سرمایه‌داری بشن که کره زمین رو به آستانه انقراض و نابودی سوق داده. در ونکوور کانادا هم در روز شنبه 23 آوریل از ساعت 12 تا 2 بعد از ظهر شاهد دو راهپیمایی بودیم که متاسفانه هر دو راهپیمایی و تجمع هم مکانشون و هم ساعت شروعشون مشابه بود. دو نیروی عمده چپ هر دو حرکت رو سازمان داده بودند و شاهد یک نکته منفی بودیم که بارها ما در موردش هشدار دادیم و این تداوم فرقه‌گرایی و سکتاریسم در جنبش چپ هست. اینکه چرا دو نیرویی که عمدتاً هم چپ هستند و ادعای برابری طلبی و آزادی خواهی و حفظ محیط زیست و مبارزه برای صلح دارند، نمیتونن سر یک مسئله کوچکی به هم به توافق برسن که در یک مکان و در یک ساعت معین حرکت مشابهی رو نذارن و این باعث بروز اختلالاتی در حرکت شد. ولی بر راهپیمایی اول به خاطر روز بین‌المللی زمین انجام شد. سر ساعت حرکت کردن از پارک کلارک به طرف خیابان کامرشال درایو تا پارک گرند ویو. به نظر میرسه که کنترل اصلی این راهپیمایی که حدود 70-80 نفر هم بیشتر حضور نداشتن، اما نقطه مثبت این بود که جوانان درش حضور پررنگی داشتن. به نظر میرسید که جریان سوسیالیست آلترناتیو که تقریبا یک جریان بین‌المللی تروتسکیستی هست، در واقع شاخه‌ای از جنبش کمونیستی که از سنت تروتسکیسم میان، اینا عمدتاً کنترل این تظاهرات رو داشتن. بیشترین پلاکاردها متعلق به اونها بود. شعارهایی که میدادن از جمله مخالفت با تداوم خط لوله نفتی از استان آلبرتا به استان بریتیش کلمبیا و اقیانوس آرام بود. در مخالفت با اون خواهان اختصاص بودجه به حفظ محیط زیست بودند. بر علیه سودورزی نظام سرمایه‌داری و کمپانی‌ها که در حال نابودی کره زمین هستند شعار می‌دادند و همچنین شعارهایی به نفع بومیان کانادا و طبقه کارگر. در این تظاهرات عمدتاً شعارها در ارتباط با مسئله حفظ محیط زیست و در مخالفت با سودورزی نظام سرمایه‌داری بود. این تظاهرات. بعد که اینا اومدن پارک گرند ویو، اونجا سخنرانی کردن. اولین سخنران هم یکی از بومیان کانادایی بود که خب ما میدونیم بومیان در سراسر جهان یک سنت دیرینی حفظ محیط زیست و هارمونی با طبیعت و حیوانات دارن و همین سنت رو خواهان این هستن که حفظ بشه، وگرنه همونطور که حتی دبیرکل سازمان ملل هم اعتراف کرده، نابودی کره زمین حتمی خواهد بود. دومین تجمع و راهپیمایی که تحت عنوان مارش صلح انجام شد، به نظر می رسید که حالا کوالیشنی بود، ائتلافی بود از تشکل‌های مختلف ضد جنگ و ضد میلیتاریستی و ضد امپریالیستی و اینا، ولی به نظر می رسید که طرفداران حزب کمونیست کانادا در اون نقش پررنگی داشتن اون کسی که شعار رو میداد و همچنین مجری اصلی برنامه، اینا از اعضای شاخص حزب کمونیست کانادا بودن که جزء احزاب معروف هستن به احزاب برادر دیگه، مثل حزب توده، احزاب برادری که زمانی که اتحاد جماهیر شوروی وجود داشت اینا طرفدار سرسخت اتحاد جماهیر شوروی اون زمان بودن. متاسفانه علیرغم اینکه اینها در دعوتنامه‌ای که فرستاده بودند و از جمله به همین خاطر هم کارزار دفاع از مبارزات مردم ایران ونکوور ازش پشتیبانی کرد و اینکه ما همه جنگ‌ها و همه اشغالگری‌ها رو محکوم می‌کنیم، چه توسط حالا غرب باشه چه شرق باشه، و خواهان خروج همه قوای نظامی از اوکراین هستیم. اساساً به غیر از یک دو سخنران کل شعارها و سخنرانی‌ها در این راستای همون خط درک تودئیستی از مبارزه ضد امپریالیسم بود که همونطور که میدونیم وقتی از امپریالیسم صحبت میکنن منظورشون فقط غرب و آمریکاست. اعتقادی به این که روسیه کنونی و همچنین چین جزء کشورهای امپریالیستی هستن ندارن و از جنگ به درستی از جنگ در یمن و اشغالگری در فلسطین و فیلیپین و اینور اونور صحبت میکردن، اما دریغ از یک شعار علیه دولت پوتین و ارتش جنایتکار پوتین، دریغ از یک شعار در رابطه با اشغال بخش وسیع از خاک اوکراین توسط ارتش روسیه و اینا. فقط در یکی از شعارها صحبت از ضرورت مذاکره و آتش بس میکردن که خب میشه تفسیرهای گوناگونی از اون به اصطلاح چیه داشت. فقط یکی از سخنرانان برندن که از جریان World Beyond War بود، جهان آری از جنگ، او مشخصا مثلا پوتین رو با هیتلر مقایسه کرد و گفت که پوتین هم مثل بوش و مثل کلینتون و مثل نتانیاهو و فلان اینا همه جزء جنایتکاران جنگی هستن. بنابراین وقتی از ضرورت مبارزه با جنگ و مبارزه برای صلح صحبت میکنیم ما همه این جنگ ها و اشغالگری ها رو مد نظر داریم. اما بقیه سخنرانان اساساً تمام تمرکزشون روی آمریکا و غرب بود. البته خب شعارهای مثبتی هم در مورد اینکه ضرورت خروج کانادا از ناتو، پیمان ناتو، لغو قرارداد خرید هواپیماهای جنگی از آمریکا که قراردادش رو کانادا بست، خواهان لغو اون بودن، خواهان به اصطلاح پایان دادن به معامله باش بزرگترین کمپانی اسلحه سازی جهان که در آمریکاست، لاکهید مارتین بودن که کانادا باز در اون رابطه قرارداد میخواد ببنده و بودجه های سنگینی که صرف امور نظامی داره میکنه کانادا و در آینده هم قصد داره تداوم بده و هزینه های زیادی که حضور کانادا در نتو سازمان پیمان نظامی داره و خواهان خروج اون هستن و اختصاص کلی این بودجه های نظامی به امور مربوط به حفظ محیط زیست و تامین اجتماعی مردم و بهبود وضعیت بومیان، کارگران و زحمتکشان که اینا خب شعارهای بسیار مثبتیه. اما یک جانبه نگری در ارتباط با مقوله امپریالیسم و جنگ و اشغالگری رو ما در این تظاهرات دوستان، همونطور که گفتم حزب کمونیست کانادا جزء احزاب برادر درش نقش پررنگی داشت رو ما مشاهده می‌کردیم. در واقع به غیر از یک دو سخنران که اشاراتی به جنایات پوتین و ارتش روسیه کردن، بقیه سکوت کامل در این زمینه اختیار کردن. بر رو این اشکالات این دوتا حرکت بود. من در اینجا از شما بینندگان عزیز دعوت میکنم که گوشه‌هایی از این هر دو حرکت رو مشاهده بکنید. ابتدا تظاهرات مربوط به روز جهانی زمین و سپس تظاهرات مربوط به مارش جهانی صلح و سخنرانی‌هایی که برخی از سخنرانی‌هایی که اونجا انجام گرفت. شاد و پیروز باشید.
8, draw the line, it's not too late.
5, 6, 7, 8, draw the line, it's not too late.
Are under attack. What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When workers' rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
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 Woo!
Canada out of NATO.
Canada out of NATO.
Canada out of NATO. No new fighter jets.
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 No deals with Lockheed Martin.
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 From Palestine to the Philippines.
From Palestine to the Philippines.
Stop the U.S. war machine.
Stop the U.S. war machine.
From Palestine to the Philippines.
From Palestine to the Philippines.
Stop the U.S. war machine.
Stop the U.S. war machine.
No new fighter jets.
No new fighter jets.
No new fighter jets.
No new fighter jets.
On this day, it is appropriate that we voice the history of this city as a sanctuary for resistors from wars in Vietnam, Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, and many other conflicts, unfortunately too numerous to mention. This reflects the commitment to peace amongst working people in this city and should always be remembered on days like today. Vancouver is a nuclear-free zone for a reason. It was fought for by peace activists to keep American nuclear vessels out of our port. You know, there has never been a working class movement for war. Those who profit from human death have repeatedly pushed our societies to conflict against other working peoples across the planet. In the spirit of peace, Vancouver took its role as sister city to Odessa, Ukraine, as working people reached out in solidarity for global peace. These products of working for peace in this city should not be forgotten in the present war hysteria. In that spirit, we reach out to the peace-loving working peoples of Odessa, but also to those working people of Moscow and Minsk. There is a real effect in Canada as we purchase fighter jets and new frigates. It is as simple as a choice between guns or butter. And how that real and profound choice will influence our society. These expenditures will take away from our ability to provide the social investment of programs like pharmacare and dental care, elements that working people in this country have fought for. It is either jets or clean water for Indigenous communities across Canada. It is frigates or it is universal Medicare. You cannot have both. The books must be balanced. Every military procurement is theft for those who hunger and are not fed, for those who are cold and not clothed. War feeds itself and is selfish with the plate. We must feed the peace between working peoples across the globe and here in Vancouver. Reaching out in solidarity. Thank you very much for being here today. I am filled with hope that we still have people in the city who call for the remembrance of war's consequences within our societies and are willing to show others in the face of overwhelming war propaganda that peace between peoples is possible and victory against war profiteers is our objective.
Thank you so much, Francisco, as articulate as ever in the struggle against war. Next, we have a couple of friends from the World Beyond War group, Farquan and Brendan.
Thank you. I don't have any prepared speech. I'm not going to say too much. We've all heard the message. We're all here together to give the same message. I want to point out a few things. This Ukraine war, that happened, it's brought out a lot of hypocrisy in our government, and it was actually a shocker for many people I know. There's wars that have been happening prior to Ukraine, and they've been absolutely tragic. In fact, I remember in 2003 when we had supposedly the largest human mobilization to stop a war, when the U.S. was going to attack Iraq. I remember that huge numbers, and I thought we finally made it. We finally figured out we're going to stop this, and unfortunately we didn't. So we still have a lot of work to do. This peace walk has started up again. I know it used to go on before, and I hope we can continue this mobilization and get more people out, because that's really what we need. We need to reach the critical mass of people out there making this demand for it to happen. A handful is not gonna cut it. So we need to multiply what we see here by 100 next year. The other thing I want to bring out is Lockheed Martin. Their profits went way up. Unbelievable. War starts and their profits go up. Their shares go up. Lockheed Martin is the largest producer of military arms in the world. Not only the F-35, they have so many other things involved in nuclear weapons as well, and they're profiting, and we need to stop that. They're not the only ones, but they're one of the biggest. So let's try to shift the funds that are going to these companies to funds where people need them. Housing, healthcare, education. There's so many things where we need the money, not going to these useless companies who only make devices, whose only purpose is to destroy and kill. And with that, I just want to tell everybody that World Beyond War, I'm part of the Vancouver chapter for World Beyond War, and our focus is not one war or another war or this war or that war. It's all wars. In fact, the very institution of war, we want to eliminate it. There's no need to do that. There's no need for a military. We can actually work out systems of cooperation among countries that does not rely on military. In fact, we're producing an alternative guide to a security system based without militaries, and it's already online. You can read it. You can in fact contribute to it. It's a living document. If you have ideas, you can add to it. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Brendan to talk a little bit more.
Thank you, Furkan. I'm not used to public speaking, but this is such an important thing that we have to speak. We have to have 5% of the courage that Marina Ovsyannikova had on Russian television. That's what stops wars. We just need 5% of her courage. She went on primetime TV. She went up against Putin. She has kids, but she risked everything to tell the truth, to get out there in front with her sign. So we got to do that. But my message today is about the future, the impact of today. Today will not do it. Sporadic events will not do it. We gotta be meeting every month. We gotta be marching every month. Okay, if you can't get here every month, that's okay, but most months. And we gotta reach out to our families. And hey, that's not easy because our families are not always in sync with what we believe, but we gotta do it. So to expect to defeat this evil, this violence. Hitler's spirit was evident in Korea, evident in Vietnam. Hitler's spirit was evident in Iraq, Central America, Afghanistan, Libya, etc. We can't use his spirit, and this is what we got to tell our families. It's tough, but let's keep at it. And by the way, Barbara and her group did a fantastic job with the walk, with those slogans. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated.
Thanks so much, friends from World Beyond War. We want to hear from our team from the West Vancouver Secondary Students for Social Justice. It's great to have secondary students here among us.
First, I would like to acknowledge that we are on unceded Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh territory that was taken by force through genocide and oppression by the same institutions who preach the words freedom and democracy today. Michael Parenti once said, "The first atrocity, the first war crime committed in any war of aggression by the aggressors is against the truth." The warmongering Western powers have been at war with the truth since the dawn of their reign. They rewrite history, twist the facts, and manipulate the masses. They have justified their greedy conquests with the white man's burden. It first began here, on this unceded land that was taken through rape and pillage tactics, with no regards for human rights of millions of indigenous peoples. But it was okay, because the white man was here to save an uncivilized population and teach them how to live right. Never mind thousands of years of art, culture, and sciences, or societies that have lived here in harmony and peace for thousands of years. This was a rescue mission, not an occupation for land and profit. The Western imperialist lust for profit, however, did not stop with the indigenous people of Americas. Their tradition of violence and destructions continues even to this day, and one can argue that it has become worse.
So I fully support that. I'm happy that
today the West has one foreign policy and one foreign policy only: submit to our rule or be destroyed. Through sanctions, blockades, military interventions, and other brutal tactics, they have destabilized whole regions, brought hunger and poverty to millions, and overthrown democratically elected governments. The United States, for example, engaged in 46 military interventions from 1948 to 1991. From 1992 to 2017, that engagement went up. Number increased fourfold to 188 interventions in Canada. Canada is not blameless either. Since 1947, Canadian armed forces have completed 72 international military interventions, mostly in Africa. Now, as bad as Western empires are acting alone, unfortunately for the rest of the world, since 1949, there has been an organization that combines the evils of all empires. That is NATO. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization is responsible for the death of millions in Iraq, Afghanistan, Bosnia, Libya, and Somalia. In Libya, NATO intervention ousted a popular government that had brought welfare and economic stability to the Libyan people, and had made Libya the richest country in Africa. But what is left of this country rich of gold and culture now? Empty gold reserves, destroyed cities, and slave markets. Civil war broke out, and welfare and social services that millions depended on became non-existent. Here we see the true face of Western imperialism. It is not about freedom. It is not about democracy or human development. It is about accumulation of wealth through death and destruction. It is a toxic mix of greed for profit and a disinterest in human lives. Today, the US military, one of the leaders of NATO, emits more pollution than 140 countries combined. Imperialism is a disease that is destroying lives and the environment alike. NATO and the empires it consists of have oppressed and exploited the world and their own people for generations. But we are here to stand against that oppression. We are here not because we have lost hope. We are here because we deserve a better future. We are here not only to criticize, but to give solutions. Solutions like defunding our expensive military and using those billions of dollars on affordable housing instead of bombs. To improve our education system, our healthcare system, instead of our fleets of drones. To create jobs for the unemployed and better conditions for the already employed, instead of spending them on operations that destroy lives abroad. We are here because we believe. We believe in peace, we believe in justice. Justice for the oppressed and the oppressors. And we will not rest until that justice is accomplished. Long live the international peace movement. Thank you very much.